Well, good morning, my friends. It is a wonderful Monday morning.
It is a wonderful morning. And look,
Yep,
this is like one of my favorite mugs. And it's Thoreau. And whenever I was a kid, not a kid, but I was 18, Carlos, I loved Thoreau, right? I had
yep.
no idea I was doing mindset and focus and visioning at like 17, 18. But, anyways, I just love that quote. Go confidently in the direction. I think that's what we're going to talk about today, right?
Yep,
Okay.
definitely. So I was thinking about calling this a completely different name. I was gonna call it Supersize Your Fries.
I love that.
Yeah, and you're gonna see why, my
Okay.
friend. So if you don't know us, my name is Carlos Vargas, and that beautiful lady that is there is my friend, coach, and partner, Trisha Andresen. Hey, Trish.
Good morning.
So, my friends, again, the reason that I was thinking to call Supersize Your Fries is because if you have heard that phrase before, Supersize Your Fries, you know that is from a store that have the golden arches. What is that, Trish?
McDonald's.
Yep. And McDonald's have a specific way to present their product, and it's that they know their audience, they know their customer, they know that when somebody's going there, it's not that the food is great, but it's not bad, horrible, but they know that if you look at the studies, it shows that the hamburger they don't make a lot of money. It says that the money that they spend on the burger is what they use for the advertisement to get you in the store. And if you're listening to us, let us know where you're listening us from. I see a couple of people, hey Tiffany, um, and some other ones connecting. And when they offer the super size option,
Mm-hmm.
they know that the customer is getting there because they're gonna eat something, and then that goes and bump the price. But they have studied relentlessly their customers. And this is something that I have been doing for a while, looking into how to understand your customer. And I
The
know that my
psychology.
friend
Yeah.
wrote a book. And if you don't know this, we're going to put the link because we're going to be doing a couple of interesting things about that topic. And it's how to really understand your customer. Trish, how important is to understand your customer? It doesn't matter the niche, but understanding your customer.
I, Carlos, it's huge because how can you communicate? I was thinking about communication this morning, sitting down with somebody and having an intelligent conversation with them, right? Our everyday life is about engagement, whether it's who we're married to, our child, our executive assistant, and so forth. And when we are engaging, we're actually selling in that psychology circle. So if we don't understand their language and what makes them tick and the concerns and the questions that they're running, because the amount of thoughts that come through a person's head that doesn't even come out verbally, but it's making psychological decisions behind the scenes. If we don't understand from an empathetic standpoint, then we can't connect to them in any way and say, you know what, I got an idea. How about we look at this? Or how can, I'm not even talking about sales here as far as selling a product. I'm talking about the understanding the psychology. And I believe what we want in our businesses and in our life is raving fans. We want people that we connect to. That's why you and I work together. We've known each other a long time. In the very beginning, it was harder for us. Remember, you spoke. I remember that conversation that we had in the house in South Carolina. Y'all, I'm telling on Carlos here, but I said, sometimes I feel like you hurt my feelings when you say this. Here's the thing. Carlos' main language is Spanish. So a lot of the words that he uses is different than the words that I use. Plus, y'all, I mean, I don't mean to like put us in a gender type or whatever, but I'm a sensitive woman, right? So, anyways, that communication he has been able to tailor to, I think, connect to me better. And so that's what we want to bring to the table, I believe, across the board to all of it is being able to connect to people more effectively. And if we don't do that, then we can never target market. Carlos, I also want to share with you, Kurt and I were in the Yukon yesterday and we were talking, and you went to the 10X conference, right? And Dean and Tony had done that session last week, which was really good. Well, I actually had gone through, during the time I wrote Interfusion Marketing, I had been in the trenches with Tony and in his very, very private group called Platinum Partners. I share that because I was at Business Mastery and all of those things. And there's a book out there by Chet Helms that's really good, HELM. I can look it up, Carlos, and give you the link for our group. But the reason why I say that is he said the supersize your fries kind of concept was 10% across the board. Our raving fans, which is what we're going to talk about today in our target audience, can we get 10% more out of those raving fans? Can we offer 10% more value so that way they engage with us? Or can we raise certain prices on things that will 10x that? It was the 10-10 rule way before 10x came in. No wonder they asked Tony to give some insight on some things. But that's why it's important to connect to our target audience and really understand the language that they're playing on autopilot in their head, so we can create the language that identifies to their situation and creates engagement conversation.
And we're going to be going in a lot of more detail for each one of those areas. But it's very important for our friends and partners that are watching this, listening this, first thing, share this. And one of the interesting things that I realize is that sometimes we think that identifying your ideal customer is only for people that have their own business. And that is so wrong. And here's what I say that. If you are working, let's start with corporate America. You are employed by someone else. You work for someone else. You may not be able to impact everyone. You may not be able to sell your products and services to everyone. And when we discuss this, I just want to say, hey, there's a couple of other people I see. I see a couple of people from Puerto Rico. I see Annie. I see William. I see Gutenberg. I see Marilyn Cartagena. I see Eric. I see Mildred Vega. So I see a lot of my friends and coworkers. But one of the most interesting things that a lot of times we think is that when we are working for someone else, we don't have the choice to pick that customer. And that's the first myth. And the reason that I say that is because across the years that I've worked in corporate America for small businesses, for big Fortune 500 and 100, travel around the world, the key thing is that you or the people that I have worked with are clearly defined who they want to go and connect with, because they understand their pain point. About 2.5 weeks ago, I was in India, and it was interesting to see how we met with different executives for some of the top technology companies worldwide. And the reason was that the account teams did their research and they went so they can present the solutions that that company has to serve that customer. But the only reason to do that is that they knew who it was.
Yes.
They knew the customer. And the way to do that is that you need to, first of all, realize, okay, who do I want to work with? And that's, it sounds like a simple question. It sounds like something silly, but going through trainings, going through conferences, going through a lot of stuff, it's actually the first question that everybody asks and say, you need to actually look at this from a simple way. Who
Yes.
do you want to work with or serve? An example, let's take it from a church. And again, if you're not a Christian or an organization, you need to know who you're gonna serve, because that's what's gonna decide the audience and what you're gonna do. An example, like Trisha mentioned, if you know me, my name is Carlos. That's Hispanic. I'm from Puerto Rico. So I dance salsa, you know? So even though I speak Spanish and Portuguese, English was not my first language when I was growing up.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm gonna go to a church, it doesn't mean I could go to a church in any language or to an organization in any language. But when I'm gonna serve, sometimes there's some areas that I serve first the Spanish community. And the reason is because it come natural to me. And studies have shown that this was a study that it blew my mind. Magic Junction was sharing that Latinos have a buying power of 1.5, hold it, trillion
Wow.
dollars.
I'm writing that one down.
Yeah, 1.5 trillion, not billion, not million, trillion dollars of disposable income.
Wow.
And so he was talking that he was creating programs for that community. He studied his customers
Yes.
to go and serve them first. And it was very interesting to see that. And when we look at it, an example, we need to look at that. How do we serve that customer? But we need to identify him first. So in this session today, I want to go through with Trish. How do we start identifying? So that first question, how do you start identifying that awesome customer, awesome partner, awesome, whatever word you want to use, so you can connect and start serving him? So Trish, I know that we talk about this. So how do we start doing that part?
Well, I want to give a tip if that's okay, just because I'm sitting here and I worked on this, but this was a collaboration of people sharing their measurable results and me helping them through the years. So this book, Interfusion Marketing, okay, if y'all want to get it on Amazon, the only reason why I'm saying that is so that way, and you don't have to get it with Carlos, you and I can upload the little thing from the video JPEGs. But on page 37, it says meet the consumer behind the strategy. So the reason why I'm saying that is because there are some things. So what we want to do is I want to first say, before you can build anything like a brand, a business, a connection with folks, you need to know your audience and understand what makes them tick, what compels them to action. But a lot of times the biggest mistake people make is they follow the shiny object. Oh, this is what the trend is right now, so I can make quick money, right? But and while that's okay to want to follow the money, I feel like that follow the money. What was that? Jerry Maguire. Okay. But the thing is that for longevity in your business, you want to work with what makes you tick. So I think the first thing is, before you can develop any kind of strategy, you have to get into the mindset of the people you want to attract. So here's the first tip I want to give is I want y'all to look at your existing customer base. Now, if you're not a business owner, let's just say you're wanting to start a business, right? I teach paint parties in my art gallery studio, right? So the
Paint
first
parties.
thing, huh?
You said paint?
Paint parties.
Okay. How do you found
How did
that
I find them?
customer?
Okay, so that's what I'm going to do is I first went to my existing raving fans, people who had already connected with me in town. And I asked them that, I really DNA'd it. I was like, okay, what type of person would maybe want to come to a paint party, right? And I realized that there were some target audiences that there was a gap that wasn't getting filled. Okay. So I realized that over the age of 60, or 65, there are women who are home that are retired and are looking for friendships, and they're tired of going to the busy, loud coffee shop and sitting there with their Bible and journal. So number one is I want to stand in faith base. It's not that I push it down people. I just want to be me every single day. Like that's just who I am, right? So I was comfortable with that. So I was like, I want to do inspirational stuff, and I want to connect with women who are fine with me being me. Like I can say that I love the Lord and they're not going to be like yelling at me over it. Okay. So, I mean, that's really getting real about that. So I know what makes me tick first. But I looked at the 60 and over and I was like, okay, well, where do they actually hang out? So they hang out at their churches. They go to Hobby Lobby a lot. They go to Michael's and look at the sales. And they were shopping downtown. So my gallery area is in the hub, the zone of where people are. So even if I didn't have a brick and mortar store, I would do a little compass like we were in grade school, and I would look at the radius of where those people might live that could come to a paint party. Number two is I also saw a need. There is a homeschooling group that also they don't have art classes because they're not in traditional school, but moms who homeschool are looking for craft ideas that they can log to this North Carolina state to say that they're giving a peripheral 360-degree type of teaching experience. So that's why there's field trips and museums, but they may want to come to go find your happy, right? And do an art project. So I started looking at where are my raving fans first that are already, I know they were coming into the store, and then I was asking them. Okay. And that's how I started finding it. Now I know as they run, as you and I have our group, right? Hold on just a second.
And by the way, while Trish is doing that, you
Okay,
see
my battery was running low. Sorry. There we go. So there's the group.
our new group.
So, Carlos, you're like this whiz so much more than me, even though I had taught versions of it. You're like on steroids, baby, on Facebook. But this last painting party, because of me niching to that, every single person in my paint party that came this weekend came from Facebook marketing. I would have not been able to do that if I didn't know how to write the ad that related to them, make them engage, and then sign up. And by the way, that 1 3-hour event paid for half my mortgage. Okay. And I had fun, fun while doing it. So that is the first thing, is looking at the radius. So go ahead.
So my friends, what Trish just mentioned, there were a couple of things, and I just want to make a recap because I'm taking notes and we're gonna post them on the
Awesome.
Facebook group. But first thing is look at your existing fans, and that could be friends, families, associate people that comment on your stuff that you do normally, because those people have connected with you for a reason. And she mentioned something very important that we're going to discuss in how to do it in a later day. She said, ask them, not tell them, but ask them what they want. Jeff Walker described it as that you want to be able to help them answer their own question. So after you ask them, say, then you're not offering anything. You say, who will like X, Y, or Z? And when they respond, then you can start serving them, and you can then brainstorm from your expertise and the different things that you know. And I know that some of the people have connected. So I see Wendell is connected. I see Doug. I see George. I see Terry.
Okay, I have to interrupt. Hi guys. Yeah, I shared the watch party out to our peeps here. So one thing that helps me close with that around that paint party, so we can just kind of stay with that, and this really anchors to Wendell right away that I think of, is I'll call it a prop, but have a touchy-feely thing that you can go with it. So when people have talked to me, I actually carry it around with me. I know it sounds like really corny, but I have this little 8x10, like little painting. And I say, touch it, feel it, right? Because it has bumps and things on it, right? And I say, this is an example of like the paint party class. You see that? It feels like 3D. And I say, that is what you'll learn, is how to use wood, paper, paint, and pull it all together. And they go, and I said, and you don't even, you might not have ever picked up a paintbrush. So I'm eliminating their fear. So again, when we understand what might hold them back in making a decision, I know that a lot of my target audience are not artists. That's not like what they do for a living. They just want to have fun, and they want to do things for maybe inexpensive. So this one's under construction, but I just said use a prop, right? So this is an old can, like, like from green beans or soup. So repurposing it. So this is like some chalk paint, and then I'm going to help them turn it into like something that says, "You are beautiful," with some burlap, blah, blah, blah. And that can be something that they sit on their desk. That is an affirmation, right? Okay, this is why you have to know your target audience. Guess what? They went, "Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? Like, I can make something from my existing house and just go buy some paints from Hobby Lobby for $3, and you're going to teach me?" I'm like, yeah. Well, that solves a problem for homeschooling one of my target audiences. And my retired women who don't have tons of disposable income to shop at Hobby Lobby and Michael's every single week, I'm showing them what to do in their house. So those of y'all who are listening, is there something that you can prove to them, like show them? So when Wendell talks about COPD, when he passes out a straw to his audience and says, "I want you to breathe through the straw really fast 10 times," and all of a sudden they go, he can say, that's what this many millions of people go through with COPD. So he's giving them the analogy to anchor to the emotion.
So my friends, so this is very interesting, but it's very important for each one of our businesses, our careers, and who we serve. And it doesn't matter where it is, because if you serve the incorrect audience, you're not gonna get the results that you want. It could be that you may be a coach, you may be an entrepreneur, you may be a business owner, you may be a corporate American. But if you don't get this piece correctly, it's gonna be challenging. So here's what we're gonna be doing before.
I'm sorry.
So we have a whole sheet with exercises to be able to go through this.
Yeah.
So here's what we're gonna do. You see that ticker on the bottom? If you join the group, we're gonna have that sheet available for you, so you can go through this exercise and you actually can start identifying which is your target customer. Who do you want to work with? And it's interesting because Sometimes I hear, let's say, pastors that say, "Well, I don't need to do that." And in reality, again, the example that I was giving, if someone that speaks Spanish goes to an English church and there's nobody that speaks Spanish, they're gonna be completely lost. So if
And
you're
uncomfortable.
yeah, if you're creating resources, if you are doing ads, if you're doing events or things like that in a Hispanic community, you need to speak Spanish. Same thing, the opposite. If you're working with a customer and you're trying to help them, let's say I'm on the tech and coaching industry, and all of a sudden I'm doing something and they're interested on moving or real estate,
Mm-hmm.
and they're trying to buy a house, and I'm not talking their language, I'm gonna waste my time. So that's what I need to know my customer and what they need so I can serve them correctly. So my friends, um, Trish, you were gonna say something before we close?
I just wanted to, whenever I give you this, I just want to recap this in just 3 minutes here. I want your homework is to look at like just 3 areas for me. Okay. And then Carlos, maybe next week or later this week, we can do a recap of going through the worksheet. Okay.
Yep.
So whenever you look at the worksheet, it might say your existing customers, but I want you to actually change that word to relationships, y'all. Relationships. So has where have my relationships come from the last 2 years? Where have my relationships come from? There's going to be a clue, a system that you're going to actually find, a core gene automatically by doing these questions. Describe your existing relationship in the last 6 months. Now, you can also, where it says customers, but again, you may be wanting to do a deep dive in the quadrants to see what overlaps and then their age and so forth. And then what do you like about working with your existing relationships? You see, because this is about relationship marketing, relationship business. So that's going to be your fans. Number 2 is preaching, I say, because I'm a preacher's kid, preaching to the choir. Who are your evangelists or influencers? So that's going to be your raving fans. And that's where I want you to make a list and so forth. Okay. And then the last part of that exercise is what are the top 3 qualities that you would love to have in your ideal relationship, your ideal client, your ideal customer? Like for me, I get so excited about working with a certain target audience of people. I love working with those who want to expand into coaching and then evangelize their message through all different mediums, like being on stage. I've coached people behind before they've gotten on, big screen TV like Good Morning America to get them in state and know what their delivery is in less than 4 minutes. That's my target audience. But it doesn't mean I don't serve other people because I do painting parties, right? But I have my ideal client in that niche that I want to work with. So though I wanted just to give you that tip to replace relationship so you can't come back to me and Carlos and go, those questions did not fit me, because they will. Just reframe it using the word relationships, clients, whatever. Okay. That's all I wanted to give on that 3-minute tip. Okay. So we'll make sure that this is uploaded for you.
Well, my friends, it's been a pleasure to have you here with us on this session.
Yes.
We're looking forward to keep serving you. Share this message. Share this video with your friends, with your coworkers, with other entrepreneurs, pastors, whoever is working with people. So that means that you that are working with someone should share it, because we are all working and serving people.
And I'll tell you, I don't mean to be this strong and confident, but I can't help but be confident because I've been doing this for 30 years. If you get on this group and you commit to watching the videos and participating alongside with us, I can tell you, you will see at least a 10% I'm not going to say these exorbitant because I don't know your client base right now, but you will see at least a 10% return on that. When Y Coach, I'll say that they get at least 10 times the value of what they're putting in. But I can tell you that I've helped clients, Carlos, even in those one tweaks like LinkedIn and stuff like that, that we're going to teach on this group, that they have closed 6 figures just by tweaking their LinkedIn because they knew this core element. So please, if you are really hungry about growing your message, growing your business, growing your dream, get on this group because you will see and track measurable results. So I'm just excited.
There you have it. There's a link so you can connect.
Yeah.
Digital Marketing Secrets Revealed. We want to share our combined years of experience. You can go out and learn it on your own. You can go out and learn all these strategies. Google or Uncle G, like they call it, my pastor call it, Tio Google. You can learn a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
We're gonna compact it. We're gonna deliver it on a.
Pull it all together.
Yep, we're gonna put it all together. So, my friends, has been a pleasure for today.
Have
I
an
hope
awesome
to see
day.
you. Bye bye.
Take care. See you guys.
See
Bye.
you.